So about invoking your entire Spark shell altogether. Shell. This is, you know, that it's going to invoke the Scala REPL for you, right? Now, I'm starting with a very basic example here itself, that how exactly you are going to, you know, interact with Spark shell altogether. So this is the first thing. And by the way, when I talk about it, it's like some of this part would be repeating in tomorrow's thing, means not repeating as such. It's like you know, different ways through which you just produce the data. So probably some of the things which in fact he was also mentioning, Niranjan was also mentioning with Spark and thing. The first thing is you just need some sort of data altogether, right? You just need some data on which you can work. You can create the data in multiple ways. First thing is you can create your data in a hard-coded fashion, probably something like it, whatever I'm doing. It's a range which we are creating. So we are creating a data from 1 to 50,000, right? So basically some random data would be created. Thankfully it doesn't type all of that. So, you know, it just says that. And the best thing is, can you see here? He said val sample data, right? 1 to 50,000 sample data Scala collection immutable, right? Range inclusive. This till this point it was pure Scala, right? There is no Spark involved here as of now. It would be involved now. Okay. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to say sc.parallel, whatever relation or whatever variable I created previously, that sample data, I'm trying to parallelize it. Okay, I can just, oops, sorry, val dot data is equal to sc.parallelize sample data altogether. Enter. The moment you say sc, by the way, what is sc here? You can see this. The good thing with the Spark shell is that it creates that Spark context object for you automatically. And it, you know, for now, this Spark context object, I hope you can recall from whatever discussion we had earlier that you need to have a Spark context object which along with the cluster manager sends or, you know, does all of the calculation, right? But this is something which you will do explicitly in your programs. Scala, Python, or whatever you want to write, Java, right? You will be creating your separate Spark context object there. But when it comes to Spark shell, this is something which is already available, and it's available as a SC variable. That's why this SC is something which is kind of encrypted, but now I hope everybody understands it, right? It's pretty basic thing, right? So Spark context object is pre-built. The moment when you load it, it builds up everything. And when you say parallelize, it's like you're just parallelizing whatever is your data holder. When you said sample data, right now sample data is a data holder which is a range. You will see very soon in when I will revisit the Spark shell, very soon you will see this placeholder which is right now having some sample data could be having the data from a file, or in some cases it might be having the data from a stream altogether. Is that clear to everybody? Right? Right now I'm purposefully saying parallelize, but then there are different other ways in which it would be automatically be able to parallelize. And then I can in fact say, I don't know whether the syntax now, I have gone so many problems. Right. I can say this as well. Okay. What it means is in how many number of worker nodes do I want? Is that clear? Right now 2 worker nodes means it's not really possible, right? It is only 1. Otherwise I could have said 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever it is, right? Whatever maximum number is possible, it would be able to do that. Is that clear? right? To everybody? Okay, Niranjan says I'm getting Java bind exception. Oops. Yeah, address already used. So Niranjan, for now, can I just request that I keep requesting it to other people also who attend my Java class, sorry, that Hadoop classes also. For now, just try to see what is happening here, because you know, I hope you understand this is not really the best time to do the debug thing. What does the parallelize mean? I just told about it. It is about your parallel, how much degree of parallelization you want. You want it to be parallelized to two different machines. Right now, I am separately saying parallelize because this is the data which I have created. Satya, if it would be a text file or something, you will see that wherever it is, wherever that particular text file or something would be present, it would be taking the data from each and every place. That's why you don't need to specify parallelize for the other data sources. Clear? Okay. Venkat says, so should we define the number of worker nodes like how we define the reducers? Yes. But again, this is only, so Venkat, see, there are very rare chances when you would be creating some data by yourself in production, right? Unless you have a very good reason for it. In that case, yes, you have to specify the number. Okay, Venkat, clear, right? By the way, there are some cases when you might have to create. I will talk about that later. Okay, now, so this is where your Spark came into the action for the first time. When you said create a particular data collection and whatever is the parallelized level, initially I didn't use comma 2, comma 3, whatever, because it was only and only one machine right now, right? So is it equal to the number of machines? Niranjan, the good thing is you can specify any number. Maximum it will go up to the number of machines which are available. Okay, Niranjan. So for now, that's why you have seen that whether you specify this or whether you specify this, it doesn't matter. Also, can you see something? What is happening here? So these exercises are pretty small. I can cover 10,000 some lines of code and very complicated. Doesn't really make much sense. Things which are happening underline. So you have two machines here. No, Animesh, no. Can somebody tell me what is happening here? Even though I say 2, it doesn't matter. See, can you notice what is happening here? No, we are not configuring to MapReduce, Jacob. No MapReduce in today's session. Right? But guys, see this. Dot data, when I say it is immutable, every time it is creating a new RDD altogether. That's it on the console side. Just some of the things. Just trying to connect the dots back. You are able to recall that, right? Right, Vamsi. You are right with it. Okay. Now, before I run it, I would like to now you saw that? What just happened? I mean, I just changed my thing, right? So when I say dot filter and this thing, it just gives me the even numbers, right? But if I just change it to this, everybody, did you get the idea about it? Right? So next time I just replace filter with map. This is not written in the slide. And that's why, I mean, so sometimes when I work on it, when I work on Spark and when I plan some of your, sessions, At that point of time, I don't refer the slide. So sorry, my mistake. See, when I say dot map, what is the property of map? See, that's why I said, right, that Scala thing and all, they would be useful now. And that's why I can't keep, changing from one language to other. Right. See this, dot map. Dot map is something which will take a function as an input. It's a higher order function which takes a function as a parameter and applies it to all the elements of a collection, right? Now, what are you saying? Dot map, and what is the function? Function says whether the given element modulo 2 is equal to 0, right? So what is it? What should it return? It should return a boolean, either true or false. And you are applying it to each and everything, right, Jacob? Right, Animesh? Whereas if I just change it, if I change it to filter, now this filter is something which is just doing a filtering based on the boolean condition, whether it is true or false. If it is true, it will keep the element. It will not change the element, right? It will not change the element as such, right? Now, this is first and the last time when I'm going to PySpark. Okay. By the way, before I go to the PySpark thing, I just want to kind of do Control C. Clear. Is the font and all everything clear to everybody? What are we doing right now? We are taking the baby steps, Jacob. Kidding. So what we are doing is right now we are just showing you different ways of interacting with Spark, right? Right now you just saw that from the Spark shell perspective. You will see some of the basic operations from PySpark perspective. One or two very simple things. Then we will, dive deep towards Spark context, the way you can load it. Then now with that, you will have some more understanding of RTDs and other stuff, right? And then we'll see how to create a simple app, how to get the data from HDFS. I think that would be more or less the coverage. And then probably if the time allows, I would like to do the server log analysis today itself, otherwise tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, that would be hardly half an hour kind of thing. Can I load native library in Scala code? Yes, so you will see that, Jacob. You will see that. When I will show you Hadoop specific, Yarn specific code tomorrow, right? You will see that how can you do the dependencies setting. Is this the way we run it in production environment? No. This is the way you just take the, I would say, you just do a bit initial level of testing of your code, whether it is syntactically correct or not and all, or whether it will work or not. Typically your Spark programs are very, very small, right? Ideally, whatever programs I have used, they are typically not more than 50 lines or maximum 70 lines, not more than that. Okay. So it is always good to test them. Yeah. Okay. Now, before I come to the PySpark thing, I just want to show you, there is a file called readme.md. Okay, it typically comes with any of the files, right? And in fact, there are some, there might be n number of examples which you will see people have used readme.md. It is like just pure laziness. I could have created my own readme, I mean, whatever file I want to, and I will create them as well for word count and other stuff. But here, it's like readme.md, and then if you just want to say whatever. So it is just a readme file, right? Just like any other one, right? So the idea is we are going to use it for our purpose. Okay, it's a simple readme file. The thing is we are going to use it for the PySpark, for the Spark shell for a very brief period. And then when I would be taking the simpler and even the different more examples altogether, at that point of time I will be using a different file, this thing. Okay, so the point is right now we are, the first mode which you just saw was to load the data from a collection which you created. The next mode which you are seeing just And on the hand sides, I wanted to show you how to interact with PySpark as well. This time you will see how to load the data from a file that is present in a Linux location altogether. Clear? Clear to everybody? Niranjan, clear? Jacob, clear? Satya, Vamsi? Right. Now, what I'm trying to do is, let me say clear, bin PySpark, okay. Here as well, you will see this. The best example, so Niranjan, another advantage, typically you would be invoking your Spark shell from one of the machines, either via putty or something which is there in the cluster, right? So in that case, you don't really have to worry about your Spark context object creation. Your default, whatever, parameters and other things, they would come as pre-built. Otherwise, if you're trying to run it by yourself, before actually running it into production or development environment, you have to create it again and again by yourself, right? So you can actually see this. I will return to the same example in Scala as well, but here you can see that text file is equal to sc.text file. Now, when you will be in Scala, you will be saying nearly the same thing in a different manner. This is typically the way in which you are going to load a particular file from a specific location. I'm saying readme.md right now because I'm right now in the same directory. If I would have been in any other different directory, or probably the file would have been in another directory and I'm invoking it from here, I would be giving no surprises, right? The entire absolute path itself. Right guys, clear to everybody? So if I just fire it, right? And what is happening here? What is happening here? It has just evaluated, right? It has not really given you the data as of now. I hope everybody understands it, right? Lazy evaluation is happening here. Guys, are you clear? Simple. So text file, when you said this, it has just kind of created a lazy calculation. It has done that, but it has not yet executed. Now you can do a lot of things with it. There are a lot of RDD functions which come along with it. Right now, you don't even know what are the different RDD functions which are available to you. Okay, so I will be covering those things in tomorrow's session when I will be talking about RDDs and all. So probably you can just say first, can I say this? Okay, sorry, it's a Python thing, so right. So you can see this. It is even showing the memory, right, Animesh. So those would be some of the things which are probably text file.count. Basically, it will tell you how many lines are there in this particular file, 127. And you can see that it is anyway quite fast, right? 127. In fact, if you really want to check it, whether there are 127 lines or not, what you can do is, I'm into the virtual machine right now. So you can go to Spark, this, clear, cat, read me, wc-l, right? Same 127. This is just a simple, some of the very simple kind of things, but just wanted to show you that when it comes to PySpark as well, it is just that if you are very, very comfortable with Python, you can write your programs in Python as well. And it works quite similar to the way it works. But right now telling about some of the limitations with Python. So some of the advanced things which you want to do probably is a bit of, caching things and a bit of, you want to load some sort of sequence files and other stuff. That is something which is not possible with Python as of now. Is that clear? Just unless you're trying to do some sort of fancy stuff with some sort of, sequence files processing and all, that is something which you want to do, or some of those even Spark streaming things which is broken. But yes, you want to do some of, not all of the Spark streaming, some of the, let's say, Kafka integration and other stuff. That is something which is not yet working with Python. Okay, with this I'm able to show you basically PySpark as well, and with this I was able to show you the second way of loading the data as well, right? So text file dot first, text file dot count. Now lines with Spark. Okay, this is Python, this thing. So again, those people, I mean, all of us are quite used to of Scala, right? So I will come back to the same program in Scala, but I hope more or less the code should make some sense to you, right? Line of Spark is a variable wherein I'm saying text file dot filter lambda. I was telling you about lambdas and all, right? That in Scala you don't really write them as lambda and all, but at the end of the day, lambda or anonymous functions and all. So the same filter is available there as well, which is lambda line Spark. I think it should be in 9. That's it. Okay, and now text file dot filter. So this is something which is kind of text file processing altogether, which you are seeing in a very crude fashion right now from the shell. So there are 15 lines. Saw that, guys? So what you can do is, how can you test it whether it was correct or not? How can you test it? Right, guys? I'm not speaking much about it. Everything is working. Okay, that's great. Everything is working for you, then it's great. But if it doesn't work, Jacob, at any point of time, don't panic. Are you liking it? Guys, these are some of those, I'm sure these are not really those examples, These are simple, but have been created in a different manner altogether, right? Because Vishal, if you give 3 instances, when if I give you 3 instances, will you install real cluster for the US? For us, not really. I mean, so not really about it. What I can do is, so there are 2 reasons behind it. One, even in my company as well, we have asked for the Spark cluster upgradation and all to our admin team. I have helped them in that. Point 1. Second, we would be having a separate admin track, not right now, but probably sometime in future. Okay. The thing is, I can understand your problem that you are in the developer come admin mode right now, right? So typically people have different kind of teams which are there, a separate admin team and separate developer team. Okay. Another thing is my time constraint as well, because after my job, after my this Edureka thing, I hardly have some time left. But having said that, on a personal level, you can, I can help you on that side. Okay, now coming back to the point. So guys, you must have seen these are very simple things, right? This was just a verification call as well, or sorry, not call, basically verification method as well, right? In fact, I was trying to do the very same thing. Cat readme grep spark wc minus l, right? Basically, it just finds out how many lines are actually having sparse, and this is your way. That gave you 15, this gave you 15. This is just one thing. But this is, I hope this just gives you an idea, right? That the reason of creating very simplistic kind of questions is, or very simplistic kind of, examples is, so that you can just focus on exactly what is supposed to be, right? It should not be, I can, now you can write whatever kind of logic you want to write. Right, guys? Are we good? Because this is the second last time when we have seen PySpark. You will not be seeing any PySpark before module 8, wherein I'm planning to show some sort of I don't know, some sort of visualization or something. Okay, it is not yet finalized. I'm still kind of, I don't know whether I'll be showing it or not, but planning to. Okay, guys, can we move forward? Because I'm now going to say Control C. Oops, sorry. Quit. So with Scala, you could say Control C, but with PySpark you have to say quit because you are in the Python REPL. You must be knowing that.